My whole career, people been avoiding me, and then that's when people start smack talking. It's like, okay, sign the dotted line and let's fight. That's who I am, rising to the occasion when no one else will.
Comes in with his short tease attacks and then backs out.
You've held belts in 4 weights, 35, 45, 55, and a 60.
Yeah.
Do people know how good you are? Are you getting the respect you should?
Yeah, winning those titles, they were definitely a huge milestone in my career. It just happened on the blue, like, hey, we should fight for this title. Hey, we should fight for this one. And it's just pretty soon we had 4 titles in one organization. And, as far as getting the recognition and stuff, I've been filling shoes my whole life. My older brothers had better accolades than I did. Coming from one of 6 boys, it's just, I was always underrated anyway. So to me, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter, at the end of the day, if I'm the best Juan Archuleta I could be, people are going to take notice.
What's the experience like when you're kind of at your freest and you're performing your best? What does that feel like?
Oh, it's a dream come true. Our biggest goal, at least for me, is not to win and lose, to go out there and perform to the best of my ability. If I'm performing like I've been doing during the practices and utilizing the techniques that my coaches and my training partners have been adding on, and being free and going out there and using those techniques or that skill set or that mindset, that's when you feel like you're at your ultimate best.
And at your best, you're not really thinking, right? It feels like it's happening by itself. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're just going with the flow, but you're ahead of the flow. You're creating the flow, and so you're always a step ahead. You're 1 or 2 steps ahead of the guy, knowing that, okay, I've taken him down all fight. I'm drawing this guy in. He's trying to stop the takedown so bad that he wants to come forward, and when you get him that quick reaction, you get to take advantage of that. And so when you're there, it's just like smooth sailing.
Yeah, it's a pleasant experience when you're in that zone.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better way, So I think that comes from the warm up as well. If you're still frightened before going in there, and the nerves are still getting to you, and you haven't worked out, got a proper warm up, and you head into that fight still questioning yourself, that's when it's going to be a long night for you. But if you got the warm up, your friends are there encouraging you, they know that it's going to be a fun night, then you should go out there and just have fun.
It's pretty legit when you got Cub and TJ and guys like that. Like, that's got to be a real thing. You can feel their experience.
Yeah, you feel it. You feel the emotion in the back. They feel the confidence. I've never experienced anywhere where I was like, okay, I have. I take that back. Where I've been sick going into a fight and like not knowing, like, okay, I know I have the stamina to overcome this, but there's nothing better than the confidence in your coaches and your cornermen going into there, knowing that you're going to go in there and perform the best of your ability.
He's sitting over there, but how good is your friend TJ Dillashaw?
TJ Dillashaw is by far one of the best martial artists in the world, whether, ground, standing, mixing everything together, and it shows in my fighting. I take everything he does and the knowledge he passes down to me, and I utilize it right away.
It's really interesting when you think of it. You got the best bantamweight in the world, and then Cub is one of the great featherweights ever. Yeah. And you're training with both of those guys. It kind of makes sense that you can move between these 2 divisions.
Yeah, and training with Joe Daddy Stevenson as well, who was a 55er.
Smart.
Yeah, very, when it comes to game planning, there's very few guys that I've been around that know how to create a game plan or know how to get an opponent's head. But when you put 3 minds together, I mean, you got Cub that's laid back like an assassin, TJ that'll just go and just rip your jugular out from your neck, and then Joe that will just verbally abuse someone in the corner. It's just the best of all worlds. And then I get to go in there and physically abuse someone. It's a great night,
It sounds horrible too, like getting kicked in the head by these guys constantly. But that's how you got to grow as a martial artist.
Yeah,
beat each other up.
Absolutely. I mean, you get to train with these guys as well, and then some guys are like, man, you got your butt kicked today. I was like, I know, and now I know what I got to do tomorrow to make sure that doesn't happen again. I got to bring my A game, know what's going on, be aware of my surroundings, and it creates an awareness in you and your reaction time that makes that decision making in a fight that much faster.
When I watch your work now and then now talking to you, you got to feel like this is a really, really important and high quality part of your journey right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no bigger fight than your next or the one coming up, right? So this is the biggest fight of my life. You know, everything that we've put into my career. You know, my career has not just been on my own decision making. It's been bits and pieces of every martial artist that I've trained with, all mixed into one. You know, and I'm fortunate to have that and use that advice and apply it into my career, because I see where they're successful. They let me know where they have fallen or where they have wished they would have had more of, and being able to do that and implement it into my career has given me the path that I am now and the doors of opportunity that it's opened.
I know what your answer is going to be if I ask you about $1 million in a featherweight tournament. That's not really the goal.
Yeah.
Is that right?
The pay is nice, you know, but the goal for me and then to martial arts is to be the best martial artist that I could be. You know, I don't like saying to go out there and be the pound for pound the best. I want to be the best martial artist that Juan Archuleta could be. You know, when I find that out and I make those adjustments, now I know I'm unstoppable.